Oh my God, I really need holidays. Hello guys, here it's Emmanuel from Dice Tuga, and today I'm going to do simply the same thing as the other guys are doing, which is a top 20 list of games that I played in this first part of 2023. Whew, that was a big title. Yeah, I'll have to cut it short. But basically, it's games that I played this year and I'm doing the top 20. That's basically it. But there's a difference with my top 20 list of games that I played in the first part of 2023. It's that these games are not all of them, or almost none of them, from 2023. Some of them are from 2006, some 2007, 12. But guys, you'll have 20 games, better 25, because I have some honorable mentions. So I'm pretty sure that you'll come out of this video with some good suggestions. So without further ado, let's jump to the honorable mention, because these kind of videos, we always need to do honorable mentions. And the first one I want to talk is Notre Dame. This is my number 25. This is a beige game. This was a game where I was infested by rats and lost. Yeah, we played it together. It's a game from 2007, I think, but still very actual. Really liked it. It's a drafting game, so I recommend that you go and try. You can find it super cheap in secondhand. So if you see it, Notre Dame, just get it. 5 players, works super well. My number 24 is That's Not a Hat. This game was super hyped. I didn't understand why, because I only see the cards with drawings, but it's a test to your memory. Basically, you give gifts to other people, and some other person in the group might challenge you to say, actually, the gift you are giving, it's not true. You are lying about it, because you never know which gift you are giving. You assume, but you don't know. So it's really fun, and I'm going to take this game on holidays. It's a small box game, so it will be a blast. You can play it up to 8 players. So in my family, it will work super easily, and it's basic. Anybody can play. So probably can even play with my 5-year-old. So totally suggest That's Not a Hat. Then Final Girl is my number 23. I have season 1 and season 2. Of course, I didn't go through all the content of this humongous box. It's all very pretty and so on, but I don't know how long I will hold to Final Girl. We'll wait until Halloween to see if I really feel like playing, but is it worth to keep a game just for an occasional season in the year? We'll see. My number 22 is Scout. This was a huge surprise. Didn't expect to like this game so much. I played it with my dad, that is not a board gamer at all, but he plays cards. So, and yeah, he loves Scout. We really enjoyed it. It's super easy to teach. Can be played with different types of players. So go get it. It's also a very small box. You can take it anywhere. And my number 21 is Keyflower. If you like some backstabbing, this is a game for you. I did some backstabbing, and I enjoyed it. But yeah, do not play this game with people that have their heart close to the chest, because you might lose some friends. But totally a nice experience, so go ahead and try it if you have the opportunity. All right, those were my honorable mentions, so now let's talk serious business. My number 20. My number 20 is Terraforming Mars. This game totally justifies the way that people talk about it. Play it with the Prelude expansion. It will make the game way faster at the beginning. But I totally don't need to choose between this one or Ark Nova. Both for me are different games. And just the fact that in Ark Nova you have your specific board, each player has his own board, and with Terraforming Mars you have a single board in the center of the table where you can interact a lot with other players, makes the total difference. And also it depends, are you in the mood for space, are you in the mood for zoos? It will all depend on your feeling that day. So Terraforming Mars might be a game that I'll get to my collection. I don't see myself playing it solo enough to have it in my collection, so that's why I don't have it yet. But I do have the computer game and it works super fine. So Terraforming Mars, totally justifiable that people still talk about it. My number 19 is Role Player. Role Player was a disappointment when I played it for the first time, but I went to revisit because I need to sell some of my games and this game is here to stay. When I played the first time, I was still new in board games, I was coming out of video games, and it reminded me the initial stage of RPGs where you have to create your character. That's it. And so I was like, that's it, that's all I get from this game. But the more I got into hero games and to dice placement games, the more I enjoy this game. Okay, this is a game about where you need to place your dice somewhere in your character sheet, but you need also to try to maximize the points that you get by respecting some patterns with the dice. So I really want to try role player adventures, but it's quite expensive and I don't feel like spending that much time for a game like that. So we'll see along the road if I get the opportunity to try it. But role player, the base game, I totally recommend for if you, it's a medium game. It's not very complex in terms of rules, so you can play it with a normal gamer, doesn't need to be an advanced player. My number 18 is Vinhos, designed by Vital Acerda. I played this with my group and we had a blast. I think from the games that I played from Vital, which were, without considering the filler games, but I played Lisboa and On Mars, definitely Vinhos is the one that is the most accessible, I would say. From those three, and the one that I probably enjoy the most. This is not a game that you can play with anybody. This is a game for players, players that already have some experience on board games. The rules are not very complex, at least the new version. So yeah, a normal player that plays family games could understand, but do not play this one with someone that never played board games at least the first time. So another one that I might get into my collection. I'm curious to try the solo, so that's why I consider to get it in my collection. It has the map of Portugal on it, so I mean, you know, Portugal for me. So yeah, Vinhos is another one that I totally recommend. Number 17 is a game designed by Rolim Costa, published by Pythagoras, and it's Mosteiro. I played this game with my group as well. Some enjoyed, some didn't, but I really like it. It's again another dice placement game where you need to risk if you want to place your die in the first position or risk a little bit more and place it on the last one so that you can maybe do a better action, get more resources, or do you want to go first and get less resources, but maybe you get the only resource that is available. So that's a game that is quite smooth, it evolves quite well, and it's really enjoyable to see at the end of everybody turn to see the monastery to grow. And you really see the monastery grow because you need to put the construction tiles on it. So Mosteiro is another one that I recommend to play already with someone like family game. For me, it's a family to medium to high. It's not super difficult. The rules are accessible, but yeah, it's maybe medium to high if the person doesn't really ever played a board game, then no. But if they already have some knowledge on board games, you can easily put that on the table. Here at home, it's being the last hype here at home, and it's Red Cathedral. Such an elegant design, very simple rules. I play this game with my girlfriend. She's not a player like me, but she understands it and she finds her way, and she always wants to beat me and destroy me and ruin me. More often than not, she doesn't. So it's always fun. But yeah, Red Cathedral, it's a dice placement game. It's about getting resources, building your part of the cathedral, and evolve. And you also see the evolution of the cathedral and be the first to build your own parts of the cathedral first. So really we didn't play yet with the Contractors expansion. That might come soon, but the base game is solid enough for us to enjoy. So Red Cathedral is my number 16. Number 15, I played this game for the first time in Riacon, and it's Flamme Rouge. Flamme Rouge is awesome. It's about cycling. I don't really care about cycling. I find it super boring, to be honest. Tour de France, all those tours, it's boring. It's just boring. But in a board game, it's quite nice. Basically, you have two decks and you have two runners. One is a sprinter and the other one is a runner or something like that. And so each one has a deck of cards. You draft two, you play, and that's how it works, basically. And so the card that you get has a number and you can advance that number of spaces, but you might want to be careful with the cards that you play because you might not want to advance too much, because you don't want to be the first one always, otherwise you get fatigue, and those are negative cards that you get into your deck, and that might come up, and then by the end you are not able to advance as much. So I play this with my daughter, a 5-year-old, and she has no strategy or tactic at all. She just drafts the cards and she looks at the number, she says, this is the highest, this is the one that I'm going to play. And she almost won a couple of times. So you can play this with kids as well. It's very accessible. The rules are very simple. I could even play this with my dad that doesn't play board games. So go get it. It has also two expansions, Meteo and Peloton, but I still didn't play. The base game is more than enough. Number 14 is a game from João Quintela Martins. I already taught how to say that name. Go check my videos on Instagram and TikTok. And Vital Lacerda, this is Bot Factory. This is the first game that I played in, not prototype, it was not on a prototype anymore, but it was on a preview state, let's say. And that's the first time I met João Quintela Martins, and after that, it's history. I love this game. I already played this game on tabletop plenty of times. I played alone, I played with friends, I played it on Lady Econ as well, and finally I got my Kickstarter version that I will be making a video soon. I already made the unboxing on Instagram and TikTok, so you can go and check it out. It's always quick videos, but I will do also one here on YouTube, and I probably will do also how to play or a preview for you to feel the flow. But Bot Factory, it's about building robots, and for people that played Kanban from Vital, they call it the little brother of Kanban. But this is a game that I feel that I could play this with my 5-year-old. In terms of rules, it's not the shortest rule book, no, for a family game, but the iconography of the game, it's so good that you almost don't need to read the rules to understand what you need to do in a certain spot. Okay, the rules are just like work as a reminder, at least for me. And so I really feel that this could be played with kids as well. But maybe I'm expecting too much of my daughter, you know. But that's it. So my number 14, Bot Factory, totally recommended. My number 13 is Gaia Project. I wanted to play Terra Mystica, but someone told me, no, play Gaia Project because Terra Mystica, you'll lose some friends because it is very cutthroat. So we tried Gaia Project, and I loved it. It's so good. You are terraforming planets with your species, not races. I don't know how you can call it, but it has so many choices and differences into the species that you choose, and the powers that everyone has that affect differently the game. And it's quite interactive because we share a board that we can cause some damage. But yeah, it's about terraforming planets. You build your buildings and get bonus things and increase your power. It's a lot to tell on this video. I had a blast. I purchased the app for my phone, and it worked quite well. But I think I have a preference for the board game, and I would consider to get it physically to try to play solo. In my phone at least, the icons are super small, so I don't find it as convenient. But it was a blast. I really enjoyed it, and I cannot wait to play it again. My number 12, I don't know if I can talk about it, but I'm not talking about Celtai because I know it's coming out, but I didn't play enough yet of the final version because I played an initial version of the game at ViennaCon, but I didn't play the final version yet that I really want to play. And it's on pre-order state right now, and it will come out by the end of the, not by the end, by September or October it will be out. So very excited. So probably it will be there in my list by the end of the year. But the one I'm going to talk now, I already played a lot of it. I think at least 3 times. It's Neotopia. It's also a game designed by Orlando Sa and André Santos. This Orlando is a friend of mine, so you might take my point of view the way you want, but I'm just being honest. There's no sponsorship at all in here, but I really enjoyed Neotopia. Neotopia, it's kind of for me, it's a family game. I think you can play it with players that don't have a lot of knowledge about board games. The rules are not complex; they are quite simple, and it's about respecting. I call it contracts. You have cards that have a specific pattern, and you need to place certain, not tiles, but pieces on the board with that specific color in order to build those patterns and get score. That's it. And I find it super pretty on the table. The table presence is great, colorful, and very attracting to the eye. It's a game that you pass by and you're like, oh, what is this? So Neotopia will come out this year, so don't hesitate. I'm going to get a copy myself because I want to try it here at home. I'm very excited about that one, and it's the first one of the first games from Andrea San. So good luck, man. And so yeah, that's my number 12, Neotopia. My number 11 is Woodcraft, and I already said this in previous videos, and I think I prefer Woodcraft over Praga. I'm just comparing both because they are from the same designer. But Praga, I played it when I was just starting the hobby. And maybe at the time the rules were a bit overwhelming because you can do so many things. And Woodcraft, you can still do a lot of things, but it seems to me more focused on what you can do. Everything that you can do, all those things you can do are related to Woodcraft, like just one thing. And I really like working with wood. Don't be dirty. Working with wood, doing the contracts and so on. It seems to me growing the trees. I really like that vibe. So yeah, that's my number 11, Woodcraft. Guys, before we jump to the top 10, don't forget to subscribe, leave a comment, tell me what are your games that you've been enjoying this year so far. Number 10 is Imperial Steam. I had to put this game on the table this year because I was not able to play it with my girlfriend or my group again. So I had to simulate a 2-player game, and oh my god, they need to come up with a solo version for this game because I love this game so much. The table presence is amazing. Every time I put it on the table, I get chills. I feel things on my back because it looks gorgeous and zen and peaceful, and I love it. So that is my number 10. It's Imperial Steam, and it will probably continue in my top 20 by the end of the year. Imperial Steam is a game that you cannot play with a normal beginner player. This has more rules than other games, so this is more to the advanced players, but not extremely advanced. Once you know the iconography and you know the actions, you are going to look at the rule book quite, not a lot, but it's just that there is so many phases that at the first 3 rounds it can still be confusing. After that, yeah, it's not going to be a super complex game. It's all about your strategy and where you are going to place your actions in order to get the best outcome for each turn. My number 9 is The King is Dead. I really like this game. It was a huge surprise. This game can be played, I think, with even players that never played games before. Maybe they will lose the first game, but after that they will understand. This is a very tactical game. Actually, per turn you are like betting on a specific region if you want to send there more resources from a certain area, like the Welsh and stuff like that. Or if you want to let it invade by the French. And so you can really have your game going 360 around because you might be investing on scoring on the resources that you place on the different regions, but others they will see what you're trying to do, and they might want to revert the game so that the French will invade the region, and so whatever you are building is not worth at all. So it's a very, very fun game that I really enjoyed. It was quite a good surprise, and we played, I think, at 4 players. It worked super well. So this is a game, yeah, that you can play with a big range of players, and also I heard that it works very well at 2 players. So definitely, if you see it, the game is usually you don't find it more expensive than 20 euros, so it's quite cheap for what it is. So just get it. My number 8 is Bruxelles 1893 La Belle Époque. This is a game that I played for the first time at Riacon. It was stitched by the designer Etienne, and I loved it. That's it. Don't have much to say. You are playing as architects of that time, and you are like building things around Brussels, and yeah, the rest. Don't go into detail of the rules. This is not the game that you can play with occasional player. Okay, this has some rules in it. And we played a 5-player game, and it worked super well. There was not a lot of waiting time. Also, the players didn't have a lot of AP, but really enjoyed. And it's going to be at Essen Spiel, so don't hesitate to pass by. Maybe you'll find someone that you know there. This is Bruxelles 1893. Totally recommend. Go get it. It will be available on Essen Spiel. Number 7 is Fayum. I love this game. It's the theme is Egypt, but it could be anything. It's a game that you buy cards in the market, and then you can play cards, but you need to be careful because after a certain amount of cards that you play, you will lose those cards forever, or you need to pay money to get those cards back. So you really need to see what are the best cards to keep and which ones are going to help you maybe build a combo so that you can always exploit that combo to maximize your points. I love it so much. It's a game designed by Friedman Fries. The rules are so simple. I think it's literally 3 pages, and one of them is for solo. So 2 of them for setup, 1 for rules, and the other 1 for solo. So I totally recommend. It's a game that it's amazing. I love it, and it's probably going to be in my top 20 games of all time this year. And they are coming up with an expansion. This game was already perfect. What the hell are they going to do with the expansion? I'm very curious. So stay tuned because probably I will talk about it. So this is my number 7, Fayum. Number 6 is Merlin. This game is so great. Yeah, that's it. This game is beautiful. I got Merlin big box, but just get the base game for now because the expansions are good, but you don't need it for now to try the base game. Get to know the base game, see if you like it. If you do, you might consider spending money on the expansions, but if you don't go for the big box. Merlin, I think you can play with a lot of types of players, at least with some experience in board games, because this is a game where basically you are rolling dice. Initially, in the beginning of the turn, you have your dice with their pebbles. And then each player will move their knight, the number of pebbles that they have on the die. So they choose a die and they say, okay, I'm going to move 2, and they do the action on the spot they fall in. That's it. The rules are pretty much it. Do you just need to consult the rule book just to have some reference about what are the actions, but the iconography is so good that after 2 or 3 turns you'll know already. So Merlin, I had a total blast. I played a game solo. I played a game simulating 2 players. I played a game with some expansions, and I played another game simulated 2 players. And alone already had so much fun. So I'm really curious to see how it can be, how the interaction works with other players. My number 5 is Signori. We had a blast with this game, and it's another dice placement game. You have a board where you have all the dice, and each player is going to pick up a dice and place on their board that allows them to do a specific action. It's a game of investment. It's a game where you can build some really nice combos. We played a 5-player game. It worked really well. I would not recommend to play this game with a gamer that doesn't play often games. This has some rules in it. Certainly for all the small actions that you can combo, there is also specific rules, so that can be a bit overwhelming. But our group was a group of medium to average to experienced players. By medium, I'm referring to me. The rest was all experienced, and we had a blast. So that was Signori. Be careful if you play in a public place what you're saying, because you might saying some stuff that can be weird for other people. So, like, I'm going to buy this woman, you know. But definitely number 5, Signori. Number 4 is a favorite here at home, a favorite of mine, and it's Trois. We still didn't play with the expansion, we didn't need it yet, and right now we are at the point that Trois, we almost don't need to see the reference sheet because we already know the cards. So it makes the game go way faster when you already know everything about the cards, and you just need to continue play. There's way less breaking and makes me love the game even more. In Trois, basically, you have, in big lines, you have 2 phases. One where you need to fight the invaders. So you are going to spend some dice to fight those invaders. And the other one where you are doing actions on the board by spending dice. That's all. So me and my girlfriend, we love it. And it's always tight when we play. And I'm very curious to try to play the ladies expansion, but for now, everybody says that it makes the game even better, but for now we didn't need, the game is already good. So yeah, that's my number 4, Trois. It is on my top 10 list of games of all time, and it probably will continue there by the end of the year. So stay tuned. My number 3 is one of my favorite games of all time. Lord of the Rings, Journeys in the Middle-earth is a blast. I love it. I think that this is one of the best implementations of an app integrated game. Because I don't think I would be able to play this game if I would have exploration cards like I have, for example, in The Witcher, to explore everything that I can explore in Lord of the Rings. I'm super glad that we have everything that is related to exploration is in the app, and we just need to read it. And everything that is related to combat is also in the app. We just need to fight the monster. We specify in how we are fighting it, if it's by the type of attack, but I don't need to play with cards, and I don't need to draft cards to figure out what is the attack that I'm doing. So all of that removes so much weight of the game. And of course, this is definitely not a game that you want to play with someone with no experience in games at all, or at least someone that has no experience on dungeon crawlers. Even I would not recommend, because they will probably not enjoy. This is not a beginner dungeon crawler game, in my opinion. But it will help if they are Lord of the Rings fans, so you might try. But definitely this is my number 3. This will always stay high for now in my list because I love this game. My number 2 is a game that I played for the first time in Riacon with Thiago and Sara, and we played for 6 hours, and it is Twilight Imperium. Such a great game. I wish I had more people here at home to play these kind of games and to spend some rainy days to play an epic game like this, because it's so rewarding. I almost won that game, but I almost won only after all the twists that happened between all the players during the game. We literally were almost finishing the game, and suddenly one of the players does something, and we have 2 more hours to play. And we were almost finishing. So this is a game that you cannot book anything else on your agenda. You are going to play Twilight Imperium, book the whole day. You might finish earlier, but just for you to be sure, book the whole day. Otherwise, you'll be stressed, and you'll be like, oh my God, I'll have to leave the game in the middle. Don't do anything else. Twilight Imperium day, that's it. I love it. Probably will not get in my collection, at least right now. Maybe if they do another edition, and if my girls are older and they are interested in this type of games, maybe I will. Otherwise, it's not worth the money. But to play in a convention and to play with friends, it's amazing. So if you have the opportunity to do so, and if you like space, I'm not such a space guy, okay? I'm more a fantasy guy. But if you love space lore and stories, this is a game for you. So that's my number 2, Twilight Imperium. And my number 1 is a game that I played with Louise at Riacon, and it's War of the Ring, the board game. I love it. This game will probably be in my top 10 list of games of all time. I think I already said, just in this video, probably mentioned my top 10 lists of games of all time already. But this game is for me one of the best experiences I can have maybe in the future. I see myself playing this game with rain outside and in a winter cold day where I'm drinking some hot chocolate or tea or whatever with the soundtrack of Lord of the Rings in the background. With my daughters, the whole family, we can play it until 4 players. I love this game. Thanks a lot to Louise that teach the game in a way for me great, because it allowed. I read the rule book and didn't understand pretty much anything. It's so messed up that I need to watch a video to understand. But Louise made it simple, and so I really enjoyed. And we had a blast. I played with Louise. Orlando was there temporarily, and I played also with Ricardo. And it's one of my favorite games of all time at this moment. I have everything for it, and I have also the card game. I also pre-ordered the solo expansion that will come for World of the Ring, the card game. So yeah, I mean, what can I say? I'm a fan of Lord of the Rings, and the collection keeps growing. So that was my number 1, guys. This was War of the Ring, the board game, and this was my top 20 list. So I hope that you got from this list some nice recommendations for you to play now during the holidays. If you didn't have holidays, I wish you great holidays. Take some time to rest. If you already had, I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you played a lot of games and you were able to get some mental rest and for the rest of the year. So that was it, guys. Like I said before, don't forget to subscribe, leave a comment, leave a like, help this brother out so that the algorithm can see me, and see you in the next video. Bye-bye.